What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another live stream from Scalar Learning. And today we are back to SAT 2 math for the Mathematics Level 2 test, the subject test, pure math, 50 questions, 60 minutes. And we are in test 4 from the College Board's resource. So again, if you're new to this channel, when I do these tests, I'm taking them in real time for the first time. So it's meant to be an authentic test-taking experience. And you can actually see me think and problem solve and work things out in real time. Sometimes I'll be caught off guard and I don't know exactly how to approach it. And you'll see that process unfold before your eyes authentically, which is the goal, to basically give you the best guidance through essentially osmosis so that you can apply those skills and those same strategies that I'm implementing on the fly when you take the test. By the way, SAT scores came out today, so if you are checking your SAT scores today, I wish you the best of luck. I hope it works out. I am sad that the curve is horrible. I've been talking to people. I think 1 wrong is a 770. I've heard that 4 wrong is a 710 on the math, which is unbelievable. Unbelievable. Worst. I think it's the worst curve in the history of the SAT. Maybe only second to last June, but I don't even know. I think it's worse. So it's very disappointing that this would happen. That's all I'll say about that. But anyways, wish you the best of luck. hope you got your score that you wanted and you did well despite the curve. All right, here we go. So we got the test queued up. Again, I haven't looked at this. I mean, I'm looking at this one problem here, but I'm not really. I'm taking it for the first time for real, and we're going to start right now. Again, since I'm taking it in real time, I can't check over and see your comments. So if you have questions or comments, make sure to post them, and I'll check them at the end when the timed section is over. All right, here we go. We're going to start in 3, 2, 1. Let's do it. Okay, I have 1 minus 1. this. 1 minus 1 over x is what? Oh, sorry, it's a one whole giant equation. All right, let's multiply everything by x. So I get x minus 1 equals 3x minus 3. Subtract x from both sides. Negative 1 equals 2x minus 3. Add 3. 2x equals 2. X equals 1. Oh, x equals 1. Therefore, what's 1 this? 1 minus 1 over 1, which is 0. Woo, good thing if they had the answer 1 there, I would have gotten it wrong, right? Rush, got to be more careful. Okay, next. This equals, let's distribute. So everything looks like it's going over 1 common fraction. So we need common denominators. So first I'm going to make that c over bc plus b over bc, right? So I'm multiplying this by b, cc, and then we'll add that, and it's c plus b over bc. Now I'll multiply in the a, boom, and I get ac plus ab over bc. This one. Yeah. Okay, next. Figure 1 shows one cycle of the graph function y equals this. The minimum value of the function occurs at point P. Oh, hold on. Minimum occurs at point P. That's just y equals sin of x. And the coordinates of PR. Got it. This is a calculator problem, so it's just basically where it equals negative 1. We can even use a graphing calculator. I could graph it. But I know sine, it's 0. This is 90 degrees, this is 180, and this is 270. But in radians, this is pi halves, this is 3 pi halves. So it's going to be 3 pi halves negative 1. And we can even check it. Sine of 3 pi halves, which is 270. Negative 1. All right, next. Boom. If P and Q are different points in the plane, the set of all points in this plane are closer to P than Q. If P and Q are different points in a plane, the set of all points in this plane that are closer to P than Q is the region of the plane on one side of a line. Because if I were to draw a line right down the middle of these guys, right? Everything that's closer to this side would be on this side of the line, right? All these points here. And then as soon as we cross, boom, now it's closer to that side. So Wouldn't be a wedge shape of a region. Right? Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's right. All right, I've never seen a question like that. I'm a little shaky on it, but I think that's right. If this equals this, all right, square both sides. Square both sides. 6y equals 4.73 squared. 73. 22.3729. And then divide both sides by 6. And we get 3.728. 3.73. 6, figure 2, r cosine theta. Oof. R. Cosine of theta. Okay, so r times cosine of theta is adjacent over hypotenuse times x over r is just x. If f of x equals this, g of x equals that, f of 10. Okay, plug 10 in for f of f first. So it's 10 squared is 100 times 0.3 is 30. 30 minus 10 is 20. So f of x is square root of 20. And then we plug square root of 20 in here. So it's square root of 20 plus 1 over square root of 20 minus 1. Plus 1 divided by square root of 20 minus 1. So we'll see, I'm careful with the parentheses. I think this is right. 1.58, 1.6. 8. If n, p, and t are non-zero numbers, and if this is this, then n equals. All right. Solve for n. So let's take away, we don't need a negative exponent because it'll just come up to the top. So this becomes n to the 4th, p to the 7th, t to the 9th equals 4n cubed p7 t to the 9th, right? It's negative on the bottom, so it just comes up as positive. Divide both sides by t, this, that goes away, those go away. And then divide both sides by n cubed. That cancels out. N to the 4th over n cubed. Subtract the exponents, which becomes n equals 4. Boom. Done. In the triangle above, figure 3, okay, if OA equals AB, what is the slope of AB? AB. We know it's negative, right? It's going down and to the right. Goodbye positives. I don't think it can be determined. I don't think it can be determined because we have no idea where coordinate A is. They're just telling us these are equal. A could be way up here, could be down here. I'm going with E right away. Because it's just telling us it's an isosceles, but that doesn't help. You know? We know that this is at coordinate 2 for the x, but we don't know the y. So no way. Where defined cosecant times that is, oh no. Do we need to know double angle theorem? Hold on. No, we don't. It's all good. Cosecant is just 1 over sine times sine 2 theta. Therefore, it becomes sine 2 theta over sine 2 theta. That's just 1. Next, the graph of y equals fx shown in the figure of 4. Which is fine, could be the graph of y, absolute value of f of x. Oh, here it is. Okay, look. All that's going to happen is if it's absolute value, there's going to be no negative. So the only thing that will change is this portion down here will go, and then everything else is the same. This will stay unchanged, and this will go up. It's E. Just like that. Oh boy. Now you might think, whoa, you're going really fast because, what is it? I'm on question 12 and it only burned through 7.5 minutes, but the later questions are much harder usually and take longer, so it's not that crazy. 3 and negative 2 are both zeros of a polynomial. That means that it can be factored to x minus 3, x plus 2, opposite signs. Then a factor of p of x is, wait, what? I think we just FOIL this. I don't know what this means. A factor of p of x. I think they're just trying to find. Yeah. Boom, 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 boom. So it's x squared plus 2x minus 3x minus 6 squared minus x minus 6. Oops. X squared minus x minus 6. A kite string is attached to a peg on the ground. If 100 meters of kite string are played out on the kite, makes an angle of 49 degrees with the ground. What is the distance in meters from the kite to the ground? So we're talking about a little trig. We want this. This is a right angle. And we want this side. And there, let's use sine. Sine of 49 equals x over 100. Multiply both sides by 100. 100 times sine of 49. 75.47. 75. All right, next. If f of x equals 3x plus 1, g of 1 is 11. Okay, so... oh, got it. X equals 2. So we want to know for which function does g of 1 equals 2. Because the only way this is going to give me 11 is if we have 2 for x. 2 times 3 is 6, plus 5 is 11. So which one of these, I'm going to plug in 1 for all these, and which one do I get 2? This one. This one gets 12, this one gets negative 2, this one gets 8, this one gets negative 2. That's it. 15. Figure 5 shows a cube with edge, blah, 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 blah. If points A and C are midpoints of the edges. And B, oh, I get it. All right. Wait, hold on. I think I understand. So this, it's like the 3D stuff confuses me. You see what I'm saying? I think that hits there and goes there, so it's 1.5. This is 3. Oh, I think I just have to find one length and then times 4. So it's a Pythagorean's theorem. So 1.5 squared plus 3 squared, which is 9, equals x squared or c squared. That's 2.25 plus 9 squared. That's 11.25. So we square root that. Square root of 11. And we get that, and then times 4, and that's the perimeter, 13.41. Full 2. Boom. An equation of line L in figure 6 is y equals 2. Done. Because any horizontal line is always y equals, and it's saying it's horizontal because it's parallel to the x-axis, and it goes through 2. It has to be y equals 2. That's it. The mean weight of the 19 members of an algebra class was 112 pounds. When a new... So... Okay, the mean is 112. When a new student, it decreased to 11. So, hold on. 112 times 19 plus some new student divided by 20. So, right, this is the old total, 19 times 112. We're adding a new student. Now we're taking the mean of that, so it's divided by 20. And the new mean is 111. So what's the weight of that other one? Let's solve this. Multiply both sides by 20. 2220, and then 19 times 112. Hold on. 19 times 12. 228. What? 2128. And we can already see that. Actually, let's just subtract it. 2220 minus 2128. 92. Boom. Done. 18. 0 blank blank. X is this. What is tangent of x over 2? So let's find... Again, it's in radians, right? Between 0 and 180, so we got to be careful. So let's find x. So we'll take arc cosine of 0.875. Right? And we get 0.505. 0.505 equals x. Now let's take tangent of 0.505 over 2. So then we divide this by 2, and then we take tangent of that value, and we get 0.258. Good. Good, good, good. All right, next. Recently, 30,744 residents of Saline voted on a referendum. A total of blank. Okay. How many residents of Lyon County? Yes. Okay. All right. I need a system of equations. Hold on. X plus, okay, I think I got it. X plus Y equals 38,430. X over 3744 equals, and this is Lyon, Y over, this is saline. Because they're saying the percentages are equal, right? And we know that the total is this. So now I can do a little substitution. I want to solve for x, so I'm going to substitute for y. Y equals 38430 minus x. You see how it's already getting harder, right? Or longer. I think this is the best way to do it. Minus x. And then we cross multiply. It's just I don't like these big numbers, right? 20,490. We could also be plugging in, right? But I'm going to do it this way. Equals 30,744. 30,744 times 38430 times 3 equals what? 1181. Okay, hold on. Whatever that is, I'm just going to put a little thing. Minus 3,744x. Then this is going to add to that. So hold on. I'm going to leave that value in the calculator. So I'm going to add this to this. I'll just do this on paper. So then it becomes 10, carry the 1, 13, 14, carry the 1, 12, carry the 1, and 5. So it's this x equals that crazy number, and then it's that crazy number divided by 51240. And that gives me the number in line, which is what I want. So 51240 divided by 512. So line 23,058. I'm not really going to spend time checking it and making sure. Then the other one would be 15,000. So it's like 23 out of that would be about 70%, I think. And then 15,000 out of that is about 75. I feel like that's right. Yeah, I feel like that's right. if f of x y equals blank for return, for what points x y is it true that x y equals x y? Okay, let's see. So y is gonna be, doesn't matter. It's just when is x gonna equal x plus 2y equals x? When does x plus 2y it's when 2y equals 0 or y equals 0. The set of all points such that y equals 0. Boom. Done. What number should be added to each of the three numbers 1, 7, and 19? What number should be added to each of the three numbers 1, 7, 19? The resulting three numbers form a geometric progression. So let's try it out. I don't know. If it's 2, it becomes 3, 9, and 21. Nope. Because you'd have a common multiplier. The next one should be 27. If it's 3, it's 4, 10. Nope. Oh, maybe, actually. Hold on. 4, 10, and then 22. And this would be times 2.5. This would be times... Nope. Next one should be 25. 4 would be 5, 11... and 23. This would be 11/5 times that is 11. 11/5 times that is 120. No. 5 would be 6, 12, and 24. This looks good. Times 2 times 2. Boom. If f of x equals ax squared, b is ordinary numbers, and if I'm not doing good time. And for all real numbers, and if f of 0 equals 1, a plus b. Okay, so if I plug in 0 for x, I get 1 is the value, and then I get those 0 out. 1 equals c. So c equals 1. Then I plug in 1 for x, and I get 2. So I get 2 equals x squared. I'm sorry. 2 equals a plus b plus 1. Therefore, a plus b equals 1. Done. What is the degree measure of the largest angle of a triangle that has sides length 6, 6, 7? So it's going to be this angle up here. What is the degree? So it's, and then these are equal. Wait a minute. Be 54. 71 could be. This would not be right. It's probably 71. Wait, how do you do this one? Do you have to use law of sines? Oh, you can use law of cosines. C squared. Okay, so this is my C angle. So it's C squared, which is 49, equals A squared, which is 36, plus B squared, which is 36, plus, I can't remember if this is the law of sines, so it's 2 times A times B times cosine of X. Okay, that's 72. I just can't remember if that's the right formula. Subtract 72 from both sides, and I get negative 23 equals, that's 72x. No, sorry, yeah, 72x, 72 cosine of x. Divide by 72, divide by 72. C squared equals A squared plus B squared minus, it's minus. Minus 2AC. So we divide by negative 72, and then we take arc cosine. So 23 divided by 72. Let's see if this was right. And then we take arc cosine of second answer. Yay, 71.37. Okay, I think that was right. I think I did the law of cosines right. I eliminated pretty well. So remember to memorize law of cosines. Kind of have it, but I think that was the correct formula. And that makes sense. Because it would be like, look, it would be like 71, and then the other two would be 180 minus second answer divided by 2. The other two angles would be 54, 54. I feel like that's right. I feel like that just makes sense. What is the domain? Okay, domain is anything. So anything that will give me a negative under a square root is going to be a problem. So the domain is negative x squared plus 13 has to be greater than 0, greater than or equal to 0. Negative x squared is greater than or equal to negative 13. Multiply both sides by negative 1. X squared is less than or equal to 13. X is less than or equal to the square root of 13, plus or minus. Wait, what's the square root of 13? Square root of 13. 3.6. So it's less than 3.61. And it's this one. Yeah, that makes sense. The negative part, because it becomes plus or minus, so those are the bounds. It's in between those. It's less than 3.61, greater than negative 3.61. Yeah, and see, I take issue with the fact that it's less than, because it actually should be less than or equal to, but I guess they round it, so you can say whatever. I guess that's fair. Okay, 25. If cosine of x equals tangent of x, which of the following is a possible radian value of x? Wait a minute. Tangent is, so let me see if I can reason this out. I could also plug these in, cosine of x equals tangent just sine over cosine. So it's basically cosine squared x equals sine of x. So when does that happen? When both of these are 0 or both of these are 1. And so, are they ever? Huh. Now I think this is a bad way to do it. Okay, I'm gonna plug in values. No, I'm gonna graph this. Cosine, I'm gonna use Desmos. You could, again, use your graphing calculator on the test, right? So it's when tangent equals cosine. And it's probably gonna be here, whatever that point is. So it looks like it's 0.666. Huh, right? So I think we go with this. 0.67. Figure 7 shows a portion of the graph y equals 3x. What is the 2? When we plug in 2 there, it's 3 squared, which is 9. So this is, again, a 9 by 2 rectangle. 9 times 2 is 18. And then at 4, 3 to the 4th power is 81. So this is an 81 by 2 rectangle. 2 times 81 is 162. So we add these up. 162, 18, and 2. 10, 12, carry the 1, 8, 1, 182. Okay, 27. When a certain radioactive element decays, the amount that exists at any time can be calculated a function of this, where A is an initial amount, blah, 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 blah. How many years would it take for an initial amount of 600 to decay to 300? So 300 equals 600 E T over 1,000. It's just a half-life. So, but actually, whatever. So I'm going to divide both sides by 600. That's literally 0.5 equals E to the negative T 1,000. I'm going to take log, natural log of both sides. Ln of 0.5 equals negative 0.6931 equals, and then this just kind of nullifies, and then we have, I'm going to put T over negative 1,000, just so then when I multiply the negative 1,000, multiply both sides by negative 1,000 equals 693, whatever, years or something. Okay, which of the following lines are asymptotes of the graph this? X equals 0 and y equals 1. Because as x approaches infinity, both positive and negative, this ends up going to 1. Because it'd be like a billion and 1 over a billion. It's about 1. Negative 9999 whatever over a billion is about negative. It's minus f of 2x plus 1 equals 2x minus 1 for all real numbers. Then f of x is, okay, let's plug in 2x plus 1 for the x's here. So this would be negative 2x plus 1. That'd be negative 2. No. Can't have a negative in front of it. So 2x plus 1, this would be 2x. This would be 2x, no. This would be 2x, this one. Because if I plug this in for x, it becomes 2x plus 1 minus 2. 1 and minus 2 become negative 1, so let's see. I think we're at the cross. All right, 30. Which of the following could be the coordinates of the center of a circle tangent to the x and y axis? It's going to be like, the coordinates have to equal each other. Because if you draw it like this, it's got to be equidistant from from the y and from the x. So like 3, 3, 4, 4. And none of the... Oh, I'm thinking quadrant 1. I think D works. Because... 2, negative 2, yeah. And then that could also still be tangent like that down there. What is the range of the function defined by this? If x is greater than 2, 6, 7, 8. Range goes forever. So the lowest it'll be here is 2, a cube root of 2. And then when x is less than or equal to 2, so it's limitless going up, and then coming down to like super negatives, it's limitless. It's all real numbers. Because this can be negative a trillion, and that'd be negative 2 trillion minus and 1, and then it goes on and on. Like there's no limit. No limit. Okay, if 3x minus 4y plus 7 equals 0 and 2y minus x squared equals 0, x greater than 0, then x equals... Okay, system of equations. So 2y equals x squared. I'm just isolating that. And then I'm going to divide both sides by 2. So y equals x squared over 2, so I'll plug that in. 3x minus 4 times x squared over 2 plus 7 equals 0. Now I have a nice quadratic. So this cancels out to 2. So I'll say negative 2x squared. I just move it to the front. Plus 3x plus 7 equals 0. Multiply everything by negative. So it's 2x squared minus 3x minus 7. With these numbers, I'm assuming this can't be factorable. So we're just going to use the quadratic. And quadratic is negative b, which is positive 3, plus or minus square root of b squared, which is 9 minus 4 times 2 times negative 7 over 2a, which is 4. And I'm just going to forget about the negative. I guarantee it's just the positive side because these are all positive. So 9, so that's, these cancel out. So that's 4, 28, 56. 9 plus 56 is 64. 65. What am I talking about? So 3 plus square root of 65 divided by 4. $2.765. 2.77. All right, next. Okay, 33. If f of x equals log base 2 of x for x is greater than 0, then f inverse of x. So that would mean then we just switch the x's and the y's. X equals log base 2 of y. And I like to rewrite it like this. Log base 2 of y equals x. This means 2 to the x equals y. So the inverse is 2 to the x. Didn't even need to do that actually. If you have a, but anyways. All right, x null is 0. Xn plus 1 is this. Is you take square root of 6 plus the previous one. So what's x3? So like here's x0 is 0, x1, x2. This is a recursive formula. X1 we take square root of 6 plus whatever the previous one was, which is 0. So it's just square root of 6. Next one is square root of 6 plus the previous one, which is square root of 6. And then this next one is square root of 6 plus, wait a minute. I don't like this method. Hold on. Square root of, I'm just going to calculate it. Square root of 6. I'm getting confused otherwise. 2.4494. Then this one is square root of 6 plus 2.4494 plus 6 equals, and then square root of that equals 2.9068. And then this one is square root of 6 plus that. So then I'll add 6 and take the square root. Add 6. Take the square root. 2.984. That's a pretty tricky one. Okay, figure 8 shows a triangle inscribed in a semicircle. Okay. What is the area of the triangle in terms of theta? First of all, we know this is a right angle. That's a rule when you have an angle coming off from a circle, the semicircle, and it opens up to cover the diameter. It's always half of the angle sector that it cuts out. So if you had a full circle, cut out 180 degrees, so it's half of that, which is 90. So it's a right angle. And then we know that this is 2 across. So what is it? We want, what is the area of the triangle in terms of theta? So if this is 2, let's call this x, let's call this y. So sine of theta, hold on, let me think about this for a second. Sine of theta equals x over 2, which is the hypotenuse. Cosine of theta equals y over 2. You see, adjacent over hypotenuse. And I know the area is 1/2 x times y. So I'll multiply this to 2. So x equals 2 sine theta, y equals 2 cosine theta. So if I do 2 sine theta times 2 cosine theta divided by 2, that's the area of the triangle. And if I cross these out, it's 2 sine cosine. Yeah. All right, that's pretty hard. 36. In a certain experiment, there is 0.2 probability that any thermometer used is in error by more than 1. So that 0.2 is 20%, but whatever. By more than 1. If 4 thermometers are used, what is the probability that all of them are in error? It's 0.2 times 0.2 times 0.2 times 0.2. 0.2 to the 4th part. I think it's this. Yep. All right, next. Because it's joint probability. It's this probability times this probability, 4, you know, not times 4, which is 0.8. That wouldn't make sense, but if the magnitudes of vectors a and b are 5, vectors, I need to review this because I don't know it. If the magnitudes of vectors are 5 and 12 respectively, then the magnitude of vector b minus a. Oh, I get it. So it's like, look, pretend that that's the 12. And pretend that the other one is 5. Right? Whoops. Of course, so this is B, sorry. B is 12, A is 5. Of course it could be 7. Because it literally, if they were going straight opposite directions, then it'd be 7. It could be 5 because it could be like 12 going way up here and then 5 kind of coming back like that. And then the magnitude is the sort of like you combine it. So depending on the angles, it could not be 17. It can't be bigger than the largest one. It's 17. Because even if it's like 12 going straight this way and then 5 going straight up. Wait, is that right? Wait a minute, it could be 17. Because what if it was going backwards? What if A was going backwards and then you subtract it and it's going forward? Now I'm confused. It's 5. It's not 17. It's 5. Because, oh no, now I'm confused. Yeah, it can't be 5. Can't be 5. Can't be your best case scenario is it's gonna the smallest it can be is 7. That's the absolute difference, and then it's gonna be all bigger than that. So I think it's 5. It's either 5 or 17, but I think 17 is actually right. It can be 17. So all right, we're gonna go with that, and we'll see. 38. If 6.31 m equals that, what is the value of m over n? Let's see. How do we do this? How do I do this? Because 3.02. What's 3.02 squared? 9.1204. All right, I know what I'm gonna call an audible. I'm gonna say 6.31 to the x. Here, watch this. 6.31 to the x power. And I'm gonna see the intersection point. And then the other one is 3.02 to the x power. And they intersect right there at 0, 1. Oh, it's undefined. Wait a minute. Is that the only place they intersect? And they never intersect there. Do they intersect again? Oh, they intersect again over here somewhere. Wait, can I just set these like this? Hold on. If I set them equal to each other, the only places it's 0. It doesn't deviate from that. M is 0 and N is 0. No, there's got to, what am I talking about? There's got to be another value, right? 6.3. Hold on. So where else do they equal each other? Wait, what's this? Oh yeah, I can't use the same. Hold on, I'm confusing myself. That won't work because that would give me this, the x's have to be. Oh god, do they intersect anywhere else? I'm stumped. I'm burning too much time on this question. Okay, I'm gonna come back to it. So 38. I'll figure it out later. Okay, wait. Let me use a little process of elimination. M obviously has to be smaller than N, right? Because if they're going to be equal, so M is less than N, so it's got to be less than 1. And then, is it are they both negative? Hold on. And then, what else can I eliminate? All right, I don't know. I'll leave it blank. Dang it, that's bad. Lost a lot of time. Okay, arc cosine of x equals 0. That just becomes x equals 0. Then x could equal, and x is between 0 and pi halves. X is 0. Why can't x be 0? Arc cosine of cosine of 0. Yeah, why not? Otherwise, it'd be it's basically these nullify each other, so it has to be 0. Arc cosine and cosine. If the 20th term of an arithmetic sequence is 100, equals a1 plus d n minus 1. Okay, so then the 20th term, so a sub 20 equals a1, we don't know, plus, we don't know the common difference either, times 20 minus 19 is 100. And then we also know that the 40th term is 250. A1 plus D times 39. What is the first term of the sequence? All right, so I can find the common difference if I literally treat this like a system of equations and subtract down. I'll make this negative, negative, negative. So this becomes negative 150 equals, those cancel out, negative 20d. 150 divided by 20 is 7.5. So the common difference equals 7.5. And then if I know the common difference is 7.5, I can plug it in and solve. 100 equals A1 plus times 19. 7.5 times 19. 142.5. 100 minus 142.5 is negative 42.5. Okay, next. If n distinct planes intersect in a line, so it'd be like and then we'd say like across like this. You see what I'm saying? And it goes up, it'll go, and then you could have a bunch of those. And another line L intersects one of these planes in a single point. Like that. What is the least number of these end planes that L could intersect? This is a hard one. If n distinct planes intersect in a line and another line L intersects one of these planes in a single point, what is the least number in planes that L could intersect? It's n minus 1. Here's why. I could draw, there's only one plane that I could make that's totally parallel to this line. Every other plane would be slightly at an angle. You see what I mean? And it would eventually come into contact with this line. Like if I extended this one down like this, it would eventually come into contact with that. So it's obviously hitting one line already. We know that. Every other line it's going to hit somewhere or another except for that one that's parallel. So that's the least number. I think that's right. I think I got it. Okay, for all theta, sine theta, blah, blah, blah. Sine plus negative. Oh, here's the deal. Negative sine. If you plug here, this is actually a way to do it. I can show you. Okay, so sine is here. So if I have an angle here, and then I also have the negative version here, sine's gonna be positive here, negative here. So this is sine theta minus sine theta, because sine of negative theta is negative sine of theta. I just had to remember that. And then cosine of negative theta is actually the same as cosine of theta, because cosine is positive in quadrant 4 and positive in quadrant 1. So this becomes 2 cosine theta. Okay, good. 8 questions left. N minus 1 factorial is this equals what? Square. What? Oh, I know. This is like, let's say it's 5 on the top, 4 on the bottom. So 4 on the top, 5 on the bottom. So n is 5, right? So it would be 4 times 3 times 2 times 1 squared over 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1 squared. So this is like, oh, I know how to do this. And then we pull out the 5 squared, and then it's 4 times 3 times 2 squared over. Then these guys cancel out. It's 1 over n squared. You see that? With that little example, I think that made a lot of sense to plug in numbers there and sort of work backwards. But I would have figured this out. This would have been 1 over 25, and I'd be like, oh, it's 1 over n squared. Okay, next. I think that's right. The radius of the base of a right circular cone . The radius of the base of a right circular cone is 6. And the radius of a parallel cross section is 4. Up top here. And this one is 4. Let's do a radius like that, 6. Okay. If the distance between the base and the cross section is 8, what is the height of the cone? Oh my God, what? Does it drop? Oh, wait. It drops by a constant. So for 8, okay, I think I know how to do this. For 8, it drops by 2. Another 8, it drops to another, it's 24. Yes, I think it's 24. I hope. I've never seen a problem like that. Okay, as an indirect proof of the statement x equals 2, then square root of x is not a rational number. Could begin with the assumption that square root of x is not rational, I guess, right? I can't remember the indirect proofs. I did some last year with some students. I think if we have to make some, we have to make some assumption. We don't have to make this. We don't have to make this because we're saying if x equals 2. I think it's that. I don't know. Suppose the graph of f of x equals negative x squared is translated 3 units left. So negative x squared looks like this. It's translated 3 units left here and 1 unit up. Resulting graph represents g of x. What is g of negative? Okay, I'm going to do it like this. So to do 3 units left, I'm going to do negative x plus 3. It becomes negative x plus 3 squared. And then 1 unit up, we add 1 to the outside. Now let's plug in negative 1.6. Negative 1.6 plus 3 is 1.4 squared. 1.4 squared is 9. Hold on. 169. 196. So it's negative 1.96 plus 1 is negative 0.96. And how many ways can 10 people be divided into 2 groups? One with 7 and another with 3. All we have to do is it's 10 choose 7. And the order doesn't matter, so it's a combination. So it's 10 factorial. Because once we choose the 7, the 3 are by default, are obviously the other 3 are the other 3. That's it. So 10 factorial over 10 minus 7 factorial, and then times 7 factorial. So this becomes 10 factorial over 3 factorial, 7 factorial. And on top, this becomes 10 times 9 times 8, and then it cancels out with the rest cancels out with the 7, and then the bottom 3 times 2 times 1. So it's 720 divided by 6, which is 120. I think that's correct. It's a harder level combination problem, but I think that's right. Which of the following has an element that is less than any other element in the set? Set of positive rationals. So they're all positive. Hold on, positive. So here the minimum is square root of 2. Here it's point da 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 whatever. Here R is greater than, isn't it just 1? Positive rational numbers are. So here the bottom is 2. Here the bottom is square root of 2. This, it's 1. I mean, I don't know. Am I crazy, right? 1 can be like anything. It can be like 0.000001. This has to be at least square root of 2. So, I don't know. What is the length of the major axis of the, wait, did I read it right? Hold on. Has an element that is, yeah. I don't know. What is the length of the major axis of the ellipse whose equation? Let's just graph it. I could get this into its right equation format, but we got a graphing calculator, so why? Divide everything by 30. No, actually, divide Divide everything by 150. Oh, this is actually pretty easy. Divide everything by 150, and I get 60 over 150. I don't need the calculator. I will use it to double check because I want to make sure I got it right. Equals 1, because we always set an ellipse equal to 1. And then this becomes... No, wait. Do we do that with an ellipse? Yeah, we do. And then this becomes 6/15 divided by 2/5 x squared plus 1 over 5 y squared equals 1. So 2/5 is like 0.4 x squared, and that's like 0.2 y squared equals 1. And then it's what divided by... No, wait, 1 divided by what is 0.4? 1 divided by what is 0.4? 1 divided by 0.4. Sorry. 2.5. So it's... What's wrong with me? Plus y squared over 5 equals 1. Anyways, the major axis is this one, which is 5. It's 5. But I can graph it just to be safe. Okay, hold on. 60x squared plus 30y squared equals 150. And this is the major axis, 2.236 to negative 2.236. Uh-oh. I'm wrong. That's not good. 4.472. It's not E. It's D. What did I do? Oh, because it's over B squared. So I have to take the square root of 5 and double it. That's why. Whew, okay, that was lucky. That I checked on the graph. Under which of the following conditions is A minus B equal to A positive? Okay. So it's positive when B is bigger. But they can't both be... If B is bigger, this is going to be negative. They're both positive in this case. So it's going to be positive or negative? No. B is bigger than A, but they're both negative. If they're both negative, and then, so it's like B is bigger, so it'd be like negative 3 minus negative 2 over 6. That's plus negative 1, negative 1/6. Nope. A is bigger than B, but they're both negative. So negative 2 minus negative 3 over 6 plus that becomes 1 over 6. Yep. Okay, we got 3 misses for. Let's see if I can do that one I think that's right. So they're opposites. A is positive, B is negative. No. Okay, let's go back to that one that I couldn't get. 248. Where was it? It was like 39, right? 38. I feel like I should be able to get this one. Okay, let's think. It takes 0.31 m. Okay, so then it's 6.31 m over 3.02 to the n equals 1. I know that. Wait a minute. Why don't I do this? Got it. 6.3231x to the 3.02 to the y. Wait. Shouldn't have used x for both variables last time. 6.32x equals 3.02y. So when are the x and y equal to each other? No. That doesn't work. Damn it. Okay, I guess maybe you can't. Maybe there's infinite answers for this one. 6.31 to the x. And I'm missing it. Because obviously there it works, right? There's probably another point. They all equal 0. No, but they don't equal 0. I just don't understand why this isn't working. I feel like it's not the negative. One's about double the other. Wait. I'm going with 0.48. No, I'm going with 0.60. I'm going to stop the timer. Hold on. Let me just think real quick. This has got to be more than double. I'm going with C. All right, let's check the answers. I'll tell you why I did that in a second. Where is... Sorry, I'm just trying to find the book so I can get the answers. Let's take a look. Okay, this was the hardest one I've seen. So, let's see how I did. All right. Here we go. BDDAC. BDDAC. Then we've got ACCEA. Then we got EBCAC. EBCAC. 16 is BBCEB. '21 is, okay, then DDCEE. DD. Oh. Damn it. 24 is E. I got this one wrong. Let's see why. I was so sure. I was so sure about that one. It's all real numbers, huh? Oh no. I see why I got it wrong. That's not a square root. That's a cube root. There's no restrictions for a cube root. Darn it. Okay, little details. So just got to watch out for that. It was not a square root. Cube root, fifth root, it doesn't matter. It can be negative. So I immediately started off on a wrong assumption. Should have read it more carefully. My bad. All right, 26, DCDCD. DCDC. CD. 31. ECACE. ECACE. Okay, now we're getting into these brutal ones. I have a feeling I got this right. Let's see. AADAB. Oh, whoops. Darn it. I got it wrong. D. Oh, I missed one. Oh, I just didn't circle it. Or something. I must have undone the circle. 39 is AB. Good. I'm going to come back to that one. I'm going to figure out why that's right. AB. 41 is BDBEC. Yes. Yes, that one was tricky. B D B E C B E. What? Man, I made quite a few mistakes. So it's saying square root of x is rational. Oh, that's right. In an indirect proof. See, I can't remember indirect proofs. You have to assume the conclusion is not true, and then you have to show that it's impossible for it not to be true. That's what it was testing. See, I forgot indirect proofs, but now I remember. So you have to assume that what you're trying to seek to prove is false, and then you show that it has to be true. Okay. BAADC. BA. Oh my God. This one's also wrong. So 48 is A. It's none. Yeah, that one I was not too sure about. I was like, this seems too easy. R squared is greater than. Okay, let me read the explanations for 48. 48, I have no idea why I got that wrong. What was the other one I got wrong? I got that one, 45. That 45, I know why I got wrong. 48, let's see. Okay. It's not satisfied the desired condition. Oh. Oh no, rational. I don't really understand the explanation. It's saying that square root of 2 is the smallest one in 2, but that's not a rational number. I didn't even think about that. See, like this question just threw me off so much. And the other one, it says is greater than 2, but there's no smallest rational number that satisfies that equation. And same with, okay, so they're just basically saying there is no smallest rational number. I mean, I don't agree with this. They're saying there's no smallest rational number that qualifies, but that doesn't make any sense. To me, there is. Like, there is some smallest rational number in 2. Maybe it's like, maybe it's infinite. So I guess if that's what they're saying, like, you can't find a smallest rational number because it would go on and on and on forever. It's not like a hard stop at an integer. So I think that's what they're trying to say. But the way I interpret it is in set 1, there's definitely numbers that are smaller in set 1 that are smaller than 2 and 3. That's the way I interpret it. So I don't know. That's really confusing, and I didn't like that one. 45, I think I understand what I did there. And this one, 38. Let's see, 38. Could not figure it out. They use logarithms. Hold on. I'm not even going to read any further. That's what I should have done. Take the log of both sides, and then we get m log 6.31 equals n. Gosh darn it. It's so easy now. Divide both sides by n. Divide both sides by log of 6.31. That's it. Log of 3.02 over log of 3.02 divided by log of 6.31. So easy. So the reason why I didn't choose D, I was trying to think of a workaround. Oh, I already know why I was trying to be like, okay, this is about double that. I shouldn't have said that though. I was already going wrong there. I shouldn't have thought about doubling. I should have thought about exponents. And so the issue is I should have said squared. You know, the other thing I could have done is I could have done some like guessing things. Like I could have been like 3 squared. No, let's do this. If m equals 2, like 6.31 squared is 6.31 squared. Let's say it's like 38 or something, right? So that's when m equals 2. This is another way I could have figured it out. Then how am I going to get 3 to 38? It's like to the third, like let's say probably 3.5 power. I could have done that, and then I could have been like m over that, and I bet you that's around the right answer. Like I could have plugged in, tried some different numbers, even if the logarithm thing didn't occur to me. If I should have just gone straight to logarithms though, that was the easiest way. All right, let's see if we have any questions. Oh yeah, I'll tell you what my score is too. So my score on this still would be an 800. I'm pretty positive because there's a really nice curve. So it's like I got 1 wrong, 2 wrong, 3. I got 4 wrong. So it's not just a 46 because I lose a half a point. So it's like I got a 44, and I think it's still, yeah, 44. I could have even gotten 1 more wrong. So it's an 800, but barely. All right, let's see any questions here. All right, what's up? Aren't D and E out? May you please solve the subject? Yeah, okay, that's on my list. I'll do it. Can I ask why I use cosine formula in question 23? Let's see. And guys, if you found this helpful, I would really appreciate it. A like on the video would be great. Really helps out the channel. Okay, so 23. We've got what is the degree measure of, why did I use law of cosines? Because in order to use law of sines was my only other option, but I had literally no angles. So I had to use law of cosines. When you have no angles and you're solving for an angle, you got to use law of cosines. Yeah. Anvar, thank you. You were right with the logarithms. Good. Yeah, I know I just couldn't look while I was in the middle of it, and I'm trying to solve it myself anyways. So, but yeah, you're absolutely right. Hey, you're welcome, man. I'm glad it was useful. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining today. I wish you all the best of luck. And again, if you did find this video useful, please click that like button. If you have any additional questions or comments, feel free to leave them in the comment section below. Thank you so much for checking this out. I wish you the best of luck, and I'll see you guys next time. Take it easy.